Every story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides on political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. In spite of assurances from the military authorities, soldiers have continued to seal off the major newspaper distribution depots in Abuja. The operatives were said to have stormed the popular Area 1, where newspapers are distributed to agents and vendors across the Nigerian capital as early as 7 a.m. Witnesses who spoke off camera say soldiers came in trucks and prevented the agents from distributing newspapers for circulation. The situation has reduced the number of papers on the streets of Abuja, but many of the outlets devised other means of getting their publications out. Meanwhile, the recent seizure of major newspapers by the military in Nigeria has come under heavy fire as public analysts and civil liberty organizations continue to condemn the action. Speaking during his visit to our station in Lagos, Tunji Abayomi says confiscation of newspapers in any country will constitute a threat to security.
It poses a great threat to national security, and that's the concern of a lot of people, because if you see how Boko Haram is operating, it renders the military powerless and ineffective. And people keep asking the question, how is it possible? I mean, Boko Haram will be on a location for 4 hours, and they appear to be more effective in terms of information gathering, intelligence, than our military. So if the military is reacting to legitimate and reasonable criticism through the media, then it's an unserious military, in my view.
Joe Oke-Odumake, a delegate at the ongoing national conference, also condemns the seizure
of military dictatorship. Our heart grieves, but the reason the security operatives is given would be good if it is better amplified, because one does not see the rationale behind it. Is reckless, is not in tune with democratic decorum, is not in line with what we fought for as a country that guarantees free press, that guarantees freedom of movement as enshrined in our constitution. The security operatives must remain civil, and those materials that are seized that has resulted in colossal loss of our resources. I think the security operatives have more explanation to give us, and there is the need for them to pay for the price, the loss that those medium have accrued, and also apologize to those people that have been unnecessarily harassed and intimidated.
Former Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control and ex-Minister of Information, Dora Akunyili, is dead. A former governor of Anambra, Peter Obi, confirmed the death of Dora Akunyili on behalf of the Akunyili family. Aged 59, Akunyili died after 2 years' battle with cancer. She was born in Makurdi, Benue on July 14, 1954. Akunyili attended the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where she made first class in pharmacy in 1978 and PhD in 1985. The deceased was elevated to the rank of Professor of Pharmacology in October 2000 by University of Nigeria, where she taught for many years. She was Director General of NAFDAC between 2001 and 2008 and Minister of Information and Communication between December 2008 and December 2010. She anchored the Rebranding Nigeria project driven by the slogan, Nigeria, good people, great nation. She served the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria in various capacities, notably as the National Vice President of Association of Lady Pharmacists from 1992 to 1995. She left government in 2010 to contest election for Anambra Central Senatorial seat on the ticket of All Progressives Grand Alliance. Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu says former Information Minister Dora Akunyili deserves to be immortalized for her service to the country. This, according to Ekweremadu, is because the late pharmacist brought respect and glory to the nation. The Deputy Senate President noted that aside from being outstanding as a minister, Akunyili brought a lot of energy and impetus to bear on the fight against fake and substandard drugs and food at NAFDAC. He described Professor Akunyili's death as a colossal loss to the entire country. Students of the University of Lagos have protested the hike in late registration fees. The students blocked all entrances leading to the campus. Vehicles were also restricted from moving in or out, resulting in traffic gridlock around the university. The students say the school management increased the fee for late registration from about 10,000 naira to 25,000 naira. Omotayo Alo has details.
Students of the University of Lagos marched through the campus this morning to register their displeasure over what they described as insensitive management of the school affairs. The university community and its environs witnessed several hours of traffic gridlock due to students' blockage of the entrance and exits of the institution. The students say the action is to kick against the recent hike in late registration fee from 10,000 to 20,000 naira.
Can you just imagine that they escalated the price of the school for you to register just a course or a date to 25,000 naira? And many of them, when they went to school, they would tell us they do to give them chicken, free education, free transportation, and they will travel abroad free of charge.
We want to know exactly where the case. We want to know exactly where this case is coming from. It was not like this last year. It was not like this last 2 years. It was not. Why would it be within a particular regime that actually this thing will be coming up? We want to know why. The management, we're part of the management. We're part of the in every stakeholders in the university. We want to know why the increment. If there's an increment, okay, we agreed. Formerly there was an increment of 10,000. If you didn't pay your school fees, but now all the students pay their school fees just to edit and delete. For crying out loud.
This is not federal government's plan. This is not what account is this money going into? Like how did they come up? They have to tell us that things we are questioned. How did they come about the money? 20,000 naira, 15,000 naira, 25,000 naira, and the people are paying it just to edit. Before it was 5,000 to edit, but by Monday you have to pay 25,000 naira.
University authorities who refuse to speak on camera claim the protest is an in-house issue which will be resolved in no time. Following the incident that happened today, the University Authority immediately issued a circular to the effect. With the 2014 convocation ceremony scheduled for Monday, 10 June, students of Unilag hold strong to their promise of disrupting all plans for the occasion if the money of those who pay the high late registration fee to the school management is not refunded. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, students of the Lagos State University have continued their protests over the recent hike in tuition fees. The students are seeking a review of the fees, which they say is too high. In this report presented from our studio, Oluwaseyi Adegoke says the students marched to the State House of Assembly demanding a review of the hiked fees.
The student protest continued with the march to the House of Assembly. The students vowed not to leave until the Lagos State government makes a pronouncement of reducing the hiked fees.
The fee hike has really affected a whole lot of things. Studentship has dropped in LASU. We have more students dropping out. As it stands, LASU with a student population of over 24,000 in 2011 now has less than 10,000 in 2014. Now, as it stands, We have about 1,000 students that have dropped out already, and we have another 500 that have shown their intention of dropping out anytime soon.
I see no reason why we'll be paying them such amount. They should please listen to us and make us happy.
Former Students' Union President of the institution, Akim Animashaun, appealed to the students to relax as the government is looking into the issue.
They've given them the assurance that by next week, probably between Monday and Tuesday, they will know government position on the matter.
The Vice Chancellor of the institution, Oladapo Obafunwa, says the school fee issue concerns the students, parents and the government.
And I know that government is working assiduously with regards to the issue of school fees. So when any pronouncement is made, I'm sure we'll know exactly what's going to happen after that. The issue of school fees was not a factor. People trying to make it an issue now, or trying to get the students to react or do whatever, maybe they have their reasons for it. But like I said, they've made representations to government, they've made suggestions, and government is looking at that.
Obafunwa, however, advised all concerned not to just focus on the school fee, but to protect the image of the school portrayed to the people.
American security personnel have met with Nigeria's military authorities with a view to sharing information on efforts to rescue the abducted Chibok girls. Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Mike Omeri, disclosed this while giving a situation report on the search and rescue mission. He gave an insight into the engagement with the Americans, but insisted that concrete details would be kept secret.
In its determined efforts was not only containing the activities of the Boko Haram, but putting a stop to it. The Nigerian Military High Command, led by the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs, being met with the leadership of the United States Interdisciplinary Team for Assistance to Nigeria. Two partners discussed the process in the collaborative efforts to recover the Chibok school girls. Accordingly, it was resolved that subsequent phases of the efforts will feature continuous engagement among the partners, while also recognizing the need for less pressure.
The police authorities have demanded increased professionalism from the rank and file now that the police have a self-accounting status. Inspector General of Police Mohammed Abubakar says he also expects prompt payment of salaries and transparency. He was speaking at a meeting with police finance officers at the force headquarters in Abuja.
The reorganization of the budget and account section of the force is a continuous one. Accordingly, the Commissioner of Police budget has been so directed to collate the data for police personnel with requisite accounting and professional qualifications, apart from ensuring the availability of this data for routine and administrative processes. It will enable the force to design a proper mix of police and civilian accounting staffs at all levels of service within the department, from force headquarters level to the zonal level, to command level, and command formation, including area commands and divisions.
In Ekiti, State Ministry of Women Affairs has granted microcredit facilities to women farmers in the state through cooperative and distribution of farm processing equipment. Rashid was at the empowerment program in Ado-Ekiti. His report.
The role of small and medium-scale enterprises in building a strong economy is said to be critical in raising the living standards of the poor. The director of cooperatives in Ekiti State, Ademola Ajayi, says it is important to empower women who participate actively in agriculture.
Cooperative in Ekiti State has been a very good leverage in supporting the community of Ekiti State. It has been helping, but most often his accomplishments or his results are not are hidden, not known. But when you go to the rural people, when you meet with the people that are really doing cooperative, you will see how it has affected their life financially, socially, and even in their daily economic activity.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs, during the presentation of funds through microcredit cooperatives, says Ekiti women living in rural settlements are to be supported to enhance their economic situation and to boost the overall economy of the state.
Under the Fadama program, we have a lot of women farmers who have been benefiting. And with all the agri inputs that the government is bringing in, cooperative loans, government has been giving to, as a gift to men farmers, they have been giving to women farmers so that they can improve their production, their yield, and also be able also creating a market for them to be able to sell their products.
The empowerment program was accepted widely due to early visits to rural communities by the governor's wife, Busy Fireme.
So what I decided to do was register cooperatives for women on our farmsteads. So far, we have registered up to 45 of them. Today, we presented them with their certificates and with some capital for them to be able to start a revolving loan fund for the various cooperatives. We are going to be monitoring them to ensure that the funds are used adequately.
Beneficiaries are full of praises and promised to make good use of the facilities.
They've put smiles on people's faces. They've touched lives. So our prayer is a collective prayer. We are praying that God Almighty will give them the mandate so that they will continue the good work.
The empowerment program is expected to raise agricultural production and ultimately better the life of many of these rural women. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Minister of Transport Senator Idris Umar has disclosed that President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the dredging of channels of 5 seaports in the country to enable them accommodate bigger vessels from abroad. Umar disclosed this during the inaugural ceremony to mark the arrival of one of Maersk Line's biggest vessels, which berthed recently. The minister, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Federal Ministry of Transport, Nebulisa Emodi, said that the 5 seaports include Calabar, Lekki, and Badagry, Ege, Olokola and Ibaka. He noted that when completed, they would accommodate all kinds of vessels and thus make the nation the transport hub for large ship consignments in sub-Saharan Africa. He said the increase in volume of containers would reduce the time spent in importing goods from China and increase the trade volume between Nigeria and the Asian giant. Nigeria currently imports about 50% of its goods from China. You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Nigerians continue to travel the city of Lagos.
There is still a poor level of
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV.
A 24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. And for more information on our news and other programs, you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/CoreTV News. Also on Twitter, at CoreTV News NG. You can watch our videos on YouTube, www.youtube.com/CoreTV / the news. Outside Nigeria, Petro Poroshenko has been sworn in as Ukrainian president. He vowed to avert civil war and mend ties with Russia. He is the fifth Ukrainian post-Soviet president, with the nation facing disintegration and economic collapse. Poroshenko took the oath of office one day after holding his first meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The self-made billionaire vowed to give an amnesty to any insurgents who had no blood on their hands, as the first step in a peace initiative designed to save the nation of 46 million, which saw its Crimea Peninsula annexed by Russia in March, from splitting further along ethnic lines. Poroshenko also added that he will never accept Russia's seizure of Crimea or attempt to divert its pro-European course. The ceremony was attended by United States Vice President Joe Biden and European Council President Herman Van Rompuy, along with more than 20 other dignitaries from countries that back Kiev's new westward drive. United States President Barack Obama led an emotional tribute to the thousands of troops who gave their lives to liberate Europe from Nazism on the 70th anniversary of the D-Day landings that shaped the security and well-being of all posterity. Speaking at Omaha Beach in front of veterans resplendent in military uniforms, complete with medals, Obama says their sacrifice and bravery had breached Hitler's wall and secured today's era of democracy and freedom. After his speech, Obama warmly embraced a stooped veteran almost half his size before bowing his head alongside French President François Hollande at a wreath commemorating the thousands that fell on June 6, 1944.
We're here today to pay tribute to the men and women of a generation who defied every danger. Among them are veterans of D-Day. And gentlemen, we are truly humbled by your presence here today. These men waged war so that we might know peace. They sacrificed so that we might be free. They fought in hopes of a day when we no longer need to fight. We are grateful to them.
And with that, to call it a wrap on CoreTV News at 7. Do join us again at 9:45 for our primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Ebulomo Adekunle.